If you don't have structure, they're not going to find recovery. You know, and I'm not trying to be an absolute in my statements, but I have enough experience with clients, and that's what I've done, you know, for a long time to have seen that in my clinical practice. And so they have to have that structure. If it's chaotic, it's not really recovery. And so you try to really work with them in all areas of their life to hopefully develop. I mean, look at the things you guys came up with. And you can attach any of those to a brick up there. You hadn't seen this, you didn't know about this. But the whole program is really designed to push that kind of structure on people. Again, it's a rotating program. Client can come in any time. Here's a sample schedule that's at my office. So this hasn't changed much. I think we've done some tweaks to the hours and stuff, and now we have a daytime group as well for people who are working. They come in 10 to 12. But usually you put in, you know, the early recovery skills somewhere, and then you put the relapse prevention, you know, at another slot. In part because towards the end of early recovery skills, clients can begin to join the relapse prevention group. Not right away, but if they are in their 6th, 7th, or 8th module, then we allow them to make the transition into the relapse prevention groups. So they kind of hit both. It's also helpful for staff that are doing it. So you got to think of your staff too, and not really kind of you know, book them in a way to where you totally abuse them. And so we leave Tuesdays maybe for a day where they can go to a self-help group. These are also designed like we know in our community. Now, how did you come up with Monday, Wednesday? Well, in our community, Tuesdays are days when there is a lot of celebrate recovery, 12-step open meetings, and so we allowed that. We actually purposefully developed this to allow for people to attend, let's say, the celebrate recovery group, or to go to the meetings as well. Now, any alcoholic, right, can go to closed meetings too. But the Celebrate Recovery groups was important for them to go. So then we have on Wednesday, we have from 6 to 7:30 Matrix Family Education. This is a group for families. They can come in. This has had its ups and downs. And so, again, I'm sharing now from real experiences, not like, okay, this is cool. Well, I thought it was going to be really cool. Well, what I found out is that in a small rural area, a lot of the families know each other. And they've had a lot of past conflicts too. And going to the same group for some of them was not helpful. So what we have done a lot of times is we allow the group to be there, and sometimes it makes it well, sometimes not. Sometimes my staff has called like once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks a big family group, and with a specific topic they advertise it with the flyers to the clients and blah 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 and do it that way. And most of the time I've done this in my sessions with them rather than as a group form. It was probably the most challenging we've had because of the resistance that, you know, was shown by, I think part of it was stigma. Part of it, I mean, think of this, the family secret. Like we have clients that are in there that are kids of professors that I work with. And they go like, I ain't coming to a group with that criminal down the street, you know? Yes.
So you applied the matrix intervention in your specific program. So I guess my question is, in terms of access to rehab, is it free or?
Yeah, this is funded. Well, my agency operates on local funding and federal funding. So when clients come in, yes, this is free. Most states have funding for community-based agencies or federally qualified mental health centers that have, or substance abuse treatment centers. Most centers have free funding. In some centers, you know, they have self-pay, and that's what people go through. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, because I was just also wondering about people coming out of these rehabilitation spaces, and so I know like one of the things we try to do is put them in a social support group of people who are drug-free. for some people, like going back into their neighborhoods is not possible,
Mhm.
or just financially moving out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and I had one of the videos where it talks about relapse triggers,
Yeah.
like people, places, and things. If you
Yeah.
go look through those slides, one of them is that. Yeah, for some people, relocation is important.
So you would encourage relocating them?
For
or-
some people, I do.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be extreme though, you know, because not everybody needs to relocate. There's people in their community that are supportive of them as well. But there are some people that relocation might be the best thing that could happen to them. Maybe go into a halfway house somewhere else, or they could return years later, but yeah. I had one client that I have actually personally pushed to relocate, but he just burned every bridge in the community, you know, including the police. He was in their radar every second, you know, doesn't make it helpful. All right, so this is a structure that I had in place in terms of when relapse prevention is, when some of the support groups would go on, so it's simple to put on. Twice a week, lasts to 16 weeks, and you have a program. Obstacles in place that I've noticed, you know, besides these, it really has to do with you. Some of my staff are resistant. They don't know if they want to do this. Part of it is a learning curve in the beginning, just understanding the model. It's not difficult, it's simple, but it requires some self-study, training, and reading. Some of you will leave this training today, no offense, right? Okay, so, because you don't have an interest in addictions. And you're never going to open those manuals that I gave you. They're going to be dusted somewhere else. And some of you are going to go and kind of look at it, oh yeah, this could be something that maybe I could educate myself to use in my practice. And some of you will go like, love this. I want to be an expert in treating addictions. I'm going to learn more about this. I'm going to seek out training. We're all different. You got to find your niche. This is not the niche maybe for everybody, right? So it depends on your interest, but I think sometimes it's just people get on the way of it. So I do have some questions that you have at the end, but you can just kind of maybe self-explore those for yourself. I do know that it's 1 minute, and I do know that it's the second day, and some of you said the relapse is part of recovery, and Gustavo is waiting. So that's what they told me yesterday. So they said the evaluation guy is not going to be there either. So no. But it's been a joy for me to be up here. I just want to end with this. As a fellow or alumni to the fellowship, you guys have earned the status that you have. And some of you may not recognize how much status you have earned. Not money, but how much status you have earned by earning a spot in this fellowship. It has opened a lot of doors for me, and I don't stroke my ego too much. I will in a minute, just for now. But the Minority Fellowship was such a helpful thing for me, and it opened so many doors in my state and beyond, and it got me involved in a lot of things. And it really has been probably one of the best things that happened to me during my education to become an MFT. And not for the money, but for the connections that it provided for me, for the doors that it opened for me, and for the vision that it has to where I was able to borrow that and make that part of mine. You know, and I know that years from now you'll be able to say what I say. Right now you may be in the wall stage, or you know, and you may not see the green light at the end of the tunnel. That this will be a platform that will serve you very well in your career, and I hope you cherish it now, and I hope you give it back in the future. So I just want to thank you for having me here. I want to thank Dr. Brooks for inviting me. I truly appreciate it. This has been one of my first invitations to come at an MFP event like this, so thank you. And I hope you have a blessed afternoon. And yes, Gustavo. No, I'm just kidding. And then I'm going to turn it over to you now. Sorry, I went a minute over, but.
You can live. You can live.